So, the addendum to the guitar thing, um, you probably know by now because I did a couple of big things on it, but I saw Denzel Washington play Othello um, months ago now. And it was revelatory for me. Um, it was. I think it's something that I've been waiting for. Like it's been a dream, dreaming in the back of my mind, in the back of my spine somewhere that this kind of performance was possible. And it was a very strange thing because I don't want to describe it except to say that it was not histrionic. Let's say that. It was just not histrionic. And so much of what we see acting nowadays is histrionic. And every now and again, like I watched this funny old movie from '75 with Michael Moriarty, which is the reason that I watched it. But Yaphet Kotto was in it. And he's almost like, he's sort of, the part he plays is almost like predating that one that Denzel got the big Oscar for, the full Oscar. I can't remember what it was. Training Day. It's such a brilliant, exuberant performance, and I watch Yaphet Kotto as an actor, and the expressive face, voice, body, everything is of the highest. It's just, it's such a thrill, and no moment of fake, no moment of affect. So, I thought, the guitar thing is that I think it'd be really worthwhile to 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 consider as acting students, to consider Denzel the same way I certainly do. I consider him the way I consider Laurence Olivier. And when I say that, I mean that his style is in fact more John Gielgud. There are marvelous plays you can get, your full plays on YouTube you can watch for free. They're on YouTube. Full length plays, and a couple with Gielgud and Richardson. And it's mind blowing. It's just mind blowing because Olivier was the famous one. Olivier was the one that everybody fussed about because he had this and that and the other thing. And what's interesting about watching those two chaps in particular, and there were others who surrounded them, but they were masters and they were ancient. They were ancient when I was young, or they were ancient. The full instrument is so used. Famously, Gielgud was said to have been the best actor from the neck up. Bullshit. He made great expressive use of the rest of him. He just didn't flail around a lot. He was very, but everything came out through this, and it's a medium of voice. It's a medium of words, and that's the thing that struck me about the Denzel Washington, who's always, all through his movie career, say what you want, the voice is magnificent. And because he is so, of everything that he does, he's so on top of it. He rides the beast. He controls. It's not histrionic. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need histrionic. So the experience of watching the Othello was that it builds up on you, and when he kills the wife in the bed, you break. I broke. And I suggest that that's what's supposed to happen. And I've seen and admired Laurence Olivier's Othello, where he blacked up and did all that stuff. I think it would have been no different if he'd done it as a white man. but he had a tendency to do this. I'm going to fill every moment with passion and freak out and all the rest of it. It's very, very magnificent and brutal in its way, but it's not close to Denzel for me. And I did wonder as I watched it, what it is that we audiences and then actors who then become audiences, that they go and they say, I want something from you. And there's something, a caution in play acting, especially in Shakespeare, where you have to realize that your audience, the contemporary audience, I think there was a feeling in the 17th century in England, and probably since the Greeks, that everybody in the auditorium comes into the auditorium in awe of the player. And maybe this connects up to the guitar thing. Whereas I think with the spoken word, I think because the audience has now become bourgeois, certainly more bourgeois than the Greeks or the Elizabethans, that the audience often, especially the men in the audience, come into disdain. I worked in theater in Atlanta for a long, long time, and after a while you work out that the house is 70% women, and the men who are there are generally young. Just saying. Sometimes that's very much not the case. But then a different kind of, an older man comes in. I don't want to get into that too much, but there is this sense that when I was watching Denzel, and his Macbeth is the same way on the film, and I wish they'd filmed Othello. Watching him play Othello, I thought, no, he is not doing that for us. He's telling the story of a man he clearly understands in his film sense of understanding. He clearly understood this man so well that he didn't need to demonstrate his feelings, if that makes any sense. People think acting's about feelings. Well, it's not. Acting might be about feelings. You hope that the feeling types get into the theater and eventually stop so they can tell the story, so that one can become part of that. And the Denzel thing also, strangely, contrary to what I'm saying, apparently, it makes you participate. It's not about sympathy. It's not about empathy. It's not about yada, yada, yada. It's about participation. So you come into the building, you paid for your seat. I didn't pay the top price, but I paid a fee because a friend of mine was in it. You come in, you sit there, and within a minute of the beginning of the play, he hasn't even come on yet. Jake Gyllenhaal was magnificent. I'm in this strange dialogue with these players, and there's nothing like it. Again, it comes back to the great guitar, the great music. It mesmerizes you, and it requires everything that is so magnificent in the human being. The last act of Othello was all about the women. Desdemona and Emilia came right to the front. They were right at the front of what was happening. I think that's intention. I think that's intention, and I think that's from an age where boys played these women, but also where the poet, like the Greeks, seemed to have a much greater opinion of women than we do today. and it's